Romantic comedies, also known as romcoms. They tell stories about love, finding it, losing it, and everything in between. They are told in fictional ways, of course, because real love is messy. People love to watch these movies because there's a sense of magic to them. They let us forget about our own lives and messy love stories. But real love can be magical too. I've seen it with my parents.
I grew up in a small town called Lodi, California.
I had two younger brothers, so I was the oldest of three. We lived on the country.
We were the kids that, got to go out and play until the streetlights came on. We didn't have like a ton of money. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad had a huge personality and coached my brother's sports teams.
My dad was a self-employed person, and he had me work on the crew, probably starting about, I don't know, 10 or 12. I was always very conscientious and shy and had good work ethic.
I was actually very shy. I was a people pleaser. I was very flirty. I was cheerleader. I was on the drill team.
I loved my accounting class like crazy, and I was really good at it.
And most of my high school career, I was dating the quarterback of the football team.
I competed in the accounting club. For a year or 2 years, I would compete on taking accounting tests across the state. And I actually got awards and awarded third place in the state.
Their high school lives couldn't be any different. One was a cheerleader and the other was a math nerd. But after college, things changed. They both decided they wanted to do accounting. So that's what they did.
So first day on the job, Mike was my supervisor, and he asked me to go into the office, and they had me pull these heavy thick files.
And it was hot. It was a September, October day. She's wearing a suit and having to do manual labor basically, but that's what the new people did.
I'm like sweating, and I'm trying to like grab all these things and carrying them all in at the same time. And I'm telling you, they never opened those the entire time we were out there.
We probably could have lived without her doing that.
And he will not admit it. I'm telling you, he will not admit it. And I keep telling him, I know that you guys pranked me.
We didn't prank her. So I remember when she came in, we were, getting to know each other and chatting.
And he kind of like took me under his wing a little bit. So there was definitely immediate attraction. He had a great smile.
So I was probably a little aloof at the time. I probably wasn't thinking much about her when she first started. That changed, obviously.
There was another job that we were on together, and it was out of town. So we would commute an hour to this bank down in Salinas and back every day. So I would meet him at Starbucks in the morning.
Each day we'd spend 2 hours in the car commuting. And you can really get to know somebody. And yeah, I can visualize her now coming into Starbucks and her dress and she kind of like had a little bit of light on her. She's kind of special. Yeah, I'd have her Starbucks ready for her.
And I remember always walking in and he's like facing the window. And so I'm like looking at him, I'm all, hi. But it was those commutes there and back that we just had the best conversations. And then the gal that we worked with, she invited us to go with her family to dinner and to the Nutcracker.
I don't know if it was a date, but it kind of became one.
That evening turned into us watching the sunrise together.
Just really enjoyed being with each other. And we spent the whole night hanging out to the end of watching the sunrise.
So how do you know when someone is the one? Is it a feeling? Is it a conscious thought? I personally don't have an answer yet. Still trying to figure that out. Well, let's see when my parents knew.
And it was coming up on our first year dating anniversary, like December 6th. And so I put it out there and I'm like, where are you, in your head, like thought wise, as far as thinking about marriage or if I'm the one or if I'm, whatever. And that's when he said, I'm just not sure if you're the one. And I was 100% sure he was the one.
I didn't know she was the one until probably year two. She went on a trip or something. I reflected on how I felt while she was gone and when she came back. It was just a really good, warm feeling when she came back that can't really describe, but it was probably the turning point for me. And I was like, yeah, I think she might be the one.
You realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody. You want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
So I had the ring, and then it's like, how am I going to give it to her? She's got to have a story.
We had planned a weekend in Monterey, and it was about a week before Easter.
So I decided I was going to do it there at some point.
In my mind, this was just a getaway weekend, nothing more than that. And we were checking in, and there was a little sign on the check-in counter that talked about whale watching.
She goes, oh, I want to go whale watching. And then the guy on the other end, he was like, okay, let's get you all signed up. And I'm like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 we're not doing whale watching. She's like, why? I don't want to. I don't want to. Because all I could think about is losing the ring in the ocean.
So the next day we took a drive down Highway 1, and he had his nice camera and he had a tripod, and we kept making these stops along the way. So we had taken, some, pictures of ourselves and scenery, whatnot. And we stopped at the Lone Cypress. So I'm sitting on the ground, I'm setting up the tripod, and I was taking pictures of the Lone Cypress. And I was so focused on that, I didn't even notice he had gone to the car and he had an Easter basket all set up.
Went to Target to get inspired, and I saw Easter baskets, and I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. Put an Easter egg. And so then I kind of just created the Easter basket that had a ring at the bottom.
And he comes and sits down kind of in front of me and plops this Easter basket down. And I was like, oh, okay. And so at first I kind of just start, going there. He was like, okay, just go slow. Like there's little things all in there. And what it ended up being was he'd have a little item and then a little note with each item in the basket. And the little notes were reasons why he loves me. I don't know why this one stood out to me, because I thought it was funny. One of the reasons he loves me is because I hate mushrooms, and he always gets my extra mushrooms. And then we were married 6 months later. Who I was in high school and who he was in high school, and how had we gone to the same high school, we probably never would have, dated, because you get, popular cheerleader dating the quarterback and the guy who's on the math team. So I think God had just the perfect right timing for us to meet, because we were just at different, stages and phases in our lives. And yeah.
Well, I guess you can say that my parents are a rom-com come to life. The nerd finally got the cheerleader in the end. This love story is a simple one, but it's also memorable. Not just for my parents, but for me as well. As their daughter, seeing them stay together in this culture of divorce, it has really inspired me to find a love that pushes me to be the best version of myself. And not just to find that kind of love, but to fight for it until my last breath.
Your mom has been a blessing to me. I've enjoyed doing life together and looking forward to 26 more years.